100 days ago, I did something that I didn't think I was ever going to do. And I'm sure it's something that a lot of people have thought about or considered or dreamed about. I left my job, got a one-way ticket, and boarded a one-way flight out of Australia to travel the world. And even saying that now, 100 days later, while I'm literally here in Europe, still sounds absolutely crazy to me. I can't believe I did it. And there are so many reasons which led me to making that decision. I didn't do it alone. I'm here with my boyfriend, who also left his job, and we're both traveling jobless around Europe at the moment. But I wanted to make this video to not cover necessarily why we did it, because I think it's a whole nother topic altogether, and it can be very personal. Not personal that I don't want to share it, but like personal to each individual as to why they do it. But if it's something people are interested in, I would be more than happy to cover that off later. But today I wanted to make a video of everything I've learnt in the past 100 days and what it has been like to travel jobless with no end in sight. So first, a bit of background about me, just to give an overview to the situation. Here's the time that you can skip to if you'd rather just jump to the tips. But hi, my name is Chantel. My boyfriend Jacob and I left our jobs in April of this year, 2024, and it is now currently the 28th of July. So we've been traveling for just over 3 months now, and we plan to keep traveling for at least the rest of the year, and we'll see how that goes. We were both engineers working at two quite large companies, but we've taken career breaks to be able to do this, so we're not being paid to be here. We took out all our leave and are just living off of our savings and seeing how far that takes us. We don't have any jobs here. We don't really have any plans to get any jobs either, so it really is just a slow burn, or more so a quick burn through all of our savings. And the plan is to go back. Hopefully not when we run out, but when we feel like we're ready. So I've written down a list of the 5 main things that I've learned since taking this break. And I don't think they're things that I necessarily would have realised were true before taking this break, but in reality, having no job and just being able to do whatever I want to do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the past 100 days and for the next 100 days or 200 days or 300 days, however long this takes us, has made me realise that these things are actually very true. So hopefully these tips will help, because they've definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things. So number 1, the first thing that I've really learned, and I would not have believed you if you told me this before, is time gets away from you no matter how many free hours you have in a day. Like, I literally, as I said before, have 24/7 free. I don't have any job to do. I don't have anyone to respond to except for myself. And somehow, even with that, early on in this trip, Jacob and I were coming home stressed at the end of a long day of going on a beautiful hike or something, and then going and get pizza for dinner. Would come home stressed that we have so much planning to do, that we don't have things booked for however far into the future, a week, 2 weeks, whatever. We haven't booked a car, this or that. We came home so stressed and just overwhelmed by the knowledge that there was just always something more to do. And no matter how many free hours you have in the day, there will always be something else to do. And if you think about it, it really makes a lot of sense. So before traveling, I was working full time, but working from home a lot. And it's crazy just how much more your day fills up when you are working from home, as opposed to before that I was working in an office job and I was commuting over 2 hours every day, but somehow I was still doing all the same things on that day as I was when I was working from home full time. And like, time just expands into whatever you have, and there's always something to do. So somehow when you strip back the things that you have to do, for example, commute or work or any of the above, all the things that you have to do still expand out into that time that you have, and there will always be something more to do. And unfortunately, like, even when I'm traveling full time, seeing all these great places, I'm currently in Greece, but with the way the world currently is, I still spend, as much as I hate to admit it, hours every day scrolling Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, and like all the things that I want to do, whether that be planning for the future of the trip or even just relaxing in this beautiful house that I'm in at the moment, like, it all just gets away from you. And unfortunately, the main thing is that there is always more to do than what you're currently doing. So what I've realized is you really do need to take a step back and think every day, no matter what you're doing, what do I want to do with this day that I have here? Because really, if you just follow the motions and don't set aside time to do the things that you want to do, time will just get away. No matter who you are or what you're doing, it will get away from you if you're not doing the things that you love and the things that you want to do. That's my first tip. No matter how much free time you have, work isn't taking away from the things that you want to do. It takes conscious effort and planning to set aside time for things that you want and need to do with your life. And having other commitments isn't going to change that. It's just how much time and energy you want to put into it yourself that will allow those hours to free up for the things that you want to do. The second thing that I've learned that's actually also been a hard pill for me to swallow is that you need to do things for your future self, but you also need to do things for your present self. For example, in my tiny bag of things that I brought here, one of the main things that I knew that I wanted to and had to bring was my runners, because back at home, running was something that I did multiple times a week and I loved it, and it was great, and it was great for my mental health. It was great for, keeping fit and active and whatnot. So I thought, when I'm traveling, that is 100% going to be something that I keep up, and if not do more, because again, I'm going to have all the time in the world. But I have run a lot less this year than I did last year when I was working a full-time job, and that always really bothered me because I kept thinking, I just want to get better, I want to do better, I want to be better, and if I can't do that now, when am I ever going to be able to do that? Like, when will I reach that sub 25-minute 5k? When will I run that marathon? And I felt bad that I wasn't showing up for myself now while I have all this free time. But then I realized in this part of my life, I don't necessarily need to be focusing on getting faster or whatever I decide to do with it in the future. I need to focus on myself now. And my exercise at the moment is swimming in the beach or going on long 10-kilometer hikes with my boyfriend and exploring the world. And that is filling up my cup so much more than going out on a run and improving my pacing ever could at this point in my life. And if I focus on going on the runs now to achieve that future marathon, I will miss out on so much right now while I'm here. I'll be more tired throughout the days. I won't be exploring quite as much. I think that's something else that's important, that while you you need to focus on doing things for your future self and achieving future goals that you want to achieve, you also need to take a good look at what you want to be achieving right now, because if you're always focusing on the future, it could never come, and you really do need to make the most of whatever it is you're doing right now. The third tip that I have, and the third thing that I've learned, is this life is mine and mine only. And I guess it kind of falls into the last one as well, but I will only be getting one life, and so will you, and we need to remember that, because life goes by so fast. Like, I can't believe that it's been 3 months since I left home, and even while traveling, again, no job, no commitments, no nothing, it feels like we're not doing everything we should. We're not seeing every single country, even though we have a full entire year to travel. We're not going to be able to see the whole of Europe. We're not going to be able to see every recommended spot in every single city that we even do go to. So it's easy to feel like you're not doing enough, but it's also hard to remember that this is my life and my life only, and also my only life. So anything that I want to do, I should do. And if I don't want to do it, then don't worry about it. You don't need to go out and force yourself to do all these things that you feel like you should be doing, when in your heart of hearts you know that that's not what you want to be doing. I think that's something really valuable as well, that this is your only life and only your life. So do the things that you want to do and not what everyone else is telling you to do. And the fourth thing I've learned is that really anything is possible, but nothing is guaranteed. I think it's just easy to forget that anything that you want to do in life really is possible. It's easy to push it till later on, or say, oh, one day I'll do this, one day I'll do that. But you've got to remember as well that nothing in life is guaranteed. And once you start reminding yourself that, oh, yeah, this could all be over tomorrow, or, you know, I may not have the ability to do that in the future, you really do just start grasping opportunities and taking those chances, because you remember that nothing really is guaranteed, and so you want to make the most of every opportunity that you have, because if you put your mind to it, anything is possible. And finally, I honestly think the most important thing that I've learned over these past 100 days is that any decision is the right decision. You can spend hours or days or months or even years tossing up whether to do something, whether that be as small as to buy something worth $100 or to leave your job and buy a one-way ticket out of the country. There are millions and millions of decisions that you could make every single day. And I think the best way to get the most out of life is just to have a think. You don't need to make every decision that quick, but any decision you make is better than no decision at all. And whatever decision you make will end up being the right one, whether it feels like it at the time or not. Sometimes you make a decision and you can regret it instantly, or you can make it and feel super uncomfortable and not sure if you made the right decision. But I've realized it's not worth worrying about that. It's just easier and a lot less stressful to go forward in life, making a decision and sticking with it and being comfortable with it, and knowing that if it isn't the right decision, you can always change that later. There's always another decision that you can go backwards on, or you can always book another flight home. You can always change a plan after booking it. Like, you don't need to have all the answers all at once, but any decision you make is better than no decision at all. And I think that's the most important thing that I've learned, and I hope that of all of the things that I've spoken about today, that is something that you can hold on to and take away and use it in your life, because there is nothing worse than just being eaten up about trying to make a decision and then it being too late to actually decide it once you actually want to, or the options aren't available to you anymore because you've spent so long trying to decide. So make a decision and stick with it, and everything will work out. Trust me, I've made plenty of decisions on this trip. Maybe not all of them have been the most perfect, thought out thing, but at the end of the day, everything has worked out. I'm here, I'm in Greece at the moment. I will be going to Italy in a couple days, and sometime in the future I will be heading back to Australia. Like, at the end of the day, one day I will be back in Australia, and there's going to be a million decisions I make between now and then. So I may as well just make one and know that it's the right decision and be confident in that and be happy in that. And that will just give me so much more peace than stressing over any decision, because really, at the end of the day, it's not worth it. So hopefully these 5 things that I've learned are helpful to you, whether doing something like this is what you are currently thinking about, or whether you just wanted some more perspective on life. I don't have the most wisdom or anything like that in the world. I'm just 26, but hopefully you've learned something from this, and if so, feel free to share, feel free to follow along on my journey. I'll be traveling along for the next who knows how long. Like I said, I'm in Greece at the moment and I'll be heading to Italy soon, so hopefully I'll be vlogging some of that. So if you want to come along, please do. I'd love to have you. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.